James Bonecrusher Smith, the challenger, as is the norm, will be the first man to make his way into the ring. Bonecrusher actually has already made this walk once. He came out a little bit earlier, then the lights went out, he went back to his dressing room, and now he's got to do it all over again. Now, commonplace for him is to have a wide-eyed stare. I think you saw in the feature that we did, he had that kind of look against Frank Bruno, and we'll see how he comes in this time. Smith with his entourage. He is, of course, handled, trained by Emil Griffin, and there he is. You can see, just wild-eyed, he's ready to go.
A very peculiar expression that he has.
It's got a half-smiling, half-startled.
Yeah. And we hope he doesn't have a power shortage here tonight.
So Smith comes into the ring, and he's taking all the advantage of the limelight here. At James Smith's record, 14-1, 12 knockouts. The loss, of course, was in his very first professional fight. And he just said he simply wasn't ready to fight that time. He took the fight on short notice. He was a part-time fighter until just 2 years ago.
Well, he looks very confident here, Barry. In fact, he doesn't appear to be in on to me.
He was a prison guard in Raleigh. He saw some pretty tough customers there. And as we mentioned, he just started fighting full-time 2 years ago. He had a rather abbreviated amateur record. He fought 35 times as an amateur. He did have 25 knockouts. There's one thing that nobody will argue with, and that's the fact that he can hit.
He has what is known as a puncher's chance, which usually means that he can't do too much else. But he has a punch, and this is a heavyweight fight.
Well, he has said that he wants to pressure Larry Holmes, and Holmes has said really that the style of a straight-up fighter who likes to jab, which really is James Bonecrusher Smith's style, is made to order for Larry Holmes.
That's a smart thing to do in the corner with the blanket, Barry, because it's really, I'm freezing, I'm dressed.
I'll tell you what, it is cold here, and the temperature has dropped probably 20 degrees. Now, here is a look at heavyweight champions who have lost their first pro fight and have gone on to win the championship. As you see, Smith would only be the third, and he joined some pretty select company. The man who was just with us a moment ago, who had that bizarre fight tonight, Mike Weaver, is one of them, and he is trying to stay warm. That really is going to be an important, but we talk about this, Ray, in every fight, coming into the ring warmed up, but it's almost impossible to do tonight.
Well, he's doing the right thing now. He's shadow boxing, he's staying loose, because the muscles do tighten up, especially in this cold weather.
Here comes Larry Holmes making his way into the ring now. He is the champion, of course. Now he's let Bonecrusher Smith stay in there a little bit. Smith has stayed active. He's in the ring, he's jumping around, he's trying to stay warm, and really that is going to be a very important part of the fight. Ray, you have said point blank, first round is going to tell us a very big story in this fight.
Exactly, because you have to look for the reaction of Bonecrusher Smith once he hits Larry, or if he should hit Larry, and the reaction once Larry goes on jab repeatedly.
And so Larry Holmes, who has not fought since last November, almost a year ago, and even then he only went one round, coming toward the ring now. We mentioned earlier, people always talk about the fact that Larry Holmes is ready to go, but there's been nobody who's been able to do the job. And here's the champion. Holmes also coming in with a towel draped around him. And there's the record of Larry Holmes. It is an enviable record, to be sure. He says he would like to break Rocky Marciano's record. Marciano, of course, retired 49-0. Larry Holmes at 35 years old now. Some interesting numbers, I think. The Thrilla in Manila, when Muhammad Ali fought that great fight with Joe Frazier, Ali was 33, Frazier was 31, and they were both pretty much done after that. And there are the numbers on this one, and there are a couple of interesting numbers there, Larry.
Well, the most interesting number is the age of Smith at 31. Some reporters called Upshaw College to check that he had actually graduated from that school in Raleigh, North Carolina. He had graduated, but in the process, the reporters found out that he wasn't 29 years old as listed. He was 31. So you win one and you lose one.
So is Larry Holmes really ready to go? We talk about the fact that Ali was 33 and all but done after the Thrilla in Manila. Joe Louis was 34 in 1948 when he retired, and Jack Dempsey 31 and 32 when he fought Tunney. Right now, let's go to the ring announcer, Chuck Hull, the introduction of the fighters.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Riviera Sports Arena. where tonight Don King Productions, in association with the Riviera Hotel and Casino, presents Countdown to Glory, an evening of World Championship Boxing. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Sig Rogich Chairman, Roy Tennyson Executive Secretary. The commissioners at ringside are Mr. Freddie Little and Mr. Art Lurie. The representative for the International Boxing Federation at ringside, Mr. Alvin Goodman. This is the main event of the evening. And the judges appointed by the IBF and the Nevada State Athletic Commission are Dwayne Ford of Las Vegas, Nevada, Glenn Amanda of Seattle, Washington, and Hank Ellis Peru of Sacramento, California. The timekeeper is Charlie Roth. Counting at the knockdowns, Jane Broadfoot. The attending physicians at ringside, Dr. Donald Romeo and Dr. Flip Omansky. And the referee is Davey Pearl. The next event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, 15 rounds of boxing for the International Boxing Federation World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing in the blue corner, the challenger, rated number 11 by the IBF, fighting out of Magnolia, North Carolina, weighing 227 pounds. He has a professional record of 14 wins, 1 defeat, with 12 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, James Bonecrusher Smith. And in the red corner, from Easton, Pennsylvania, weighing 221 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 45 wins, no losses, and 32 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated International Boxing Federation champion, the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes, Ray, actually does look like he has some perspiration and does look very warm coming in here. We'll see. Very chilly night, as we mentioned, and we'll see if it's not a factor, especially in the early going. Davey Pearl will be the referee. He has worked many a championship fight. Smith, of course, if he's going to do business, he's going to have to get to Larry Holmes. The one thing that we do know about him, he is a pretty good finisher.
Well, Larry might jump right on Bonecrusher Smith because there's no perspiration.
That's one of the great stare downs right there.
You might see aggressive Larry Holmes the very first round, Barry.
Holmes taking no nonsense there from Smith. Smith wide-eyed, staring at his man. A lot of emotion here. Round one. Holmes came in at 221. That's a couple of pounds lighter than he said he was going to.
Smith seems to be very tight.
Be sure and get your opinion after this first round, because you were saying you'll be able to tell a lot about Bonecrusher Smith after one round, so we'll see.
Watch for Larry Holmes' jab to go to the body and up to the head, and then watch the reaction, the facial expression of Bonecrusher Smith.
Holmes has said he's bothered more by awkward fighters like Burbick, for instance, and Snipes. Good jab by Larry Holmes.
What Smith is trying to do, he's trying to block that left jab of Larry Holmes. In fact, he watched the Witherspoon fight, and he saw the defense that Witherspoon had. So basically, that's what Smith is trying to do.
Holmes trying to go inside and out. That was a very good right hand by Larry Holmes, the champion. Holmes is up on his toes. And Smith talking to the champion. A little bit of blood actually already showing on the bridge of the nose of Bonecrusher Smith.
I don't like the way Smith is keeping that left hand down. He's throwing it, he's bringing it down.
Halfway through the first round.
He's very susceptible to a counter right hand, and Larry throws a very good right hand.
Remember Smith, when he won the fight, I should say, from Frank Bruno, lost 9 of the first 10 rounds. And then he point, as you heard, I'll get hit as many times as I need to get hit, but at some point during the course of the fight, Larry Holmes always relaxes and takes a breather, and that's when I'll get it.
Okay, now Larry has measured. He's found the target with that left jab. So watch for the right hand to follow behind that left jab from Larry Holmes.
Came with a right hand lead just a moment ago, something you will not often see Larry Holmes do. Try to figure out his man.
Larry wants to bring that right hand over, dog. Basically, now he's just toying with Smith, trying to make Smith drop that left hand. There. You took it to the right hand.
Holmes being all business, no nonsense here in the first round. And the jab is very effective, and there is blood on the bridge of the nose of Bonecrusher Smith.
Smith has fought one round of a heavyweight championship fight. He didn't do much fighting.
Bring my piece. Now listen, you are looking to fight his fight. I don't want you fighting his fight.
What should I do?
I want to jab him, keep jabbing with him. And don't play with him, keep jabbing with him and turn to the body. Turn it to the body.
Right hand down.
Right hand up or down? Up or down?
And Larry Holmes.
Beat the balls, Big Jack. 46-0. 46-0.
This is the second round, and Bonecrusher Smith, according to Emil Griffin, fought Larry Holmes fight in the first round. He doesn't want him to do that. He wants him to keep that jab moving. Smith tries, but to no avail. No question about it. The sharper of the two is Larry Holmes.
Well, if you look at Bonecrusher's face, you can see that left jab has been very effective and very damaging.
The one time in the fight against Frank Bruno, which we keep harkening back to, but with good reason, because that was his finest hour, the only time he really got to Bruno and bothered him was when he was on the ropes. And Larry Holmes' corner exhorted him, stay in the middle of the ring, get off the ropes. That was Eddie Futch's advice before the fight.
Now, what Larry Holmes doesn't want to do, bro, he doesn't want to stay inside with this guy. This guy has good punching power.
And once again, Holmes spins off the ropes.
What Larry should do is get in and get out.
And Holmes trying to be a little bit more aggressive here in this second round.
Pull up your sleeve. That's it. Never let. Pull up your sleeve. That's it. Circle. Take it to the circle.
You can almost see Larry Holmes just kind of waiting.
That's it.
Well, Larry's really trying to set his man up. But there is so much strength with Bonecrusher that Larry is really just taking his time.
Holmes staying pretty much right in front of Bonecrusher Smith. Smith ducking in awkwardly.
Both guys are really trying to land that big right hand. And what's going to happen, whoever lands first will probably be the winner.
The fight has settled down a little bit here in the second round. Neither man has been hurt. Still a little bit of blood on the bridge of the nose of Smith. It is not appreciably worse than it was in the first round.
I think that's when it's dangerous for Larry. Every time he gets inside and tries to exchange punches with Smith, I think he's asking for trouble.
That's exactly what Smith wants, of course. He wants you to mix it up with him.
Get the tree, Big Jack. Get the tree, Big Jack.
catch that right hand that Holmes finally shot through. He's been trying to set it up and unleash it, obviously. He missed the shot there. He's been trying to set that punch up, obviously, right through this entire 2 rounds of the fight. And I think Larry has looked a little bit awkward so far because there it is. There's the right hand that got through. But Larry's looked a little bit awkward, wouldn't you say, Ray? He's been away for a year. He's fighting a big guy with long arms.
Well, the inactivity
who seems to be trying to block his punches with those long arms.
I think
it hasn't been easy yet.
The inactivity is really hurting Larry. And those broad shoulders of Smith is not making an easy target for him.
Holmes up on his toes now as we start the 3rd round.
The left jab of Larry Holmes is really doing a number on Smith. And it's really starting to frustrate him because he can't find a way to get inside.
There's a little bit of swelling alongside the nose. Still a little bit of blood on the bridge of the nose of Bonecrusher Smith. And a little mark up on the forehead also.
Again, this is Bonecrusher. He wants Larry against the ropes or in the corner so he can wheel away at the body.
The longer this fight goes on, Ray, who do you feel it favors?
Well, quite naturally, Larry Holmes, it's in his best interest because Larry's been that route a lot of times, and he's in condition to go the distance.
Should point out that Smith has only gone 10 rounds once, 8 rounds once, and 6 rounds once. Everything else has been 5 or under. Little blood now underneath the eye, up on the cheek of Bonecrusher Smith. So he's cutting up early here.
But also, as the rounds go by, fatigue sets in, and then experience shows. And that's what you're going to see in Larry Holmes. He's going to give him angles, step side to side. He's not throwing more combinations.
Got that right hand in and the left hand down.
Now Larry's starting to double up on his left jab. He's going to the body. He's going back into the head.
Trying to go downstairs a little bit more here. Holmes been very effective in this round.
No wrestling now, back up. No punching now.
I think you might hear Holmes' corner yelling, "Everlast, Everlast." What that means is go to the body. They have signals that they give their man so as not to be coaching from the corner. Holmes tried an uppercut, just missed.
What Holmes tried to do, he tried to establish, get his rhythm going. You know, basically just be saying 1-2 punches.
And Holmes getting the better of that exchange, and now there's blood above the left eye of Smith, and he's not going to have too far to go because he's cut right now in 3 places.
And what's doing is that left jab of Larry Holmes. Starting to find his target.
Holmes is cut above and below the eye, actually on the cheek, plus above the eye, plus on the bridge of the nose. I believe I said Holmes Smith is who I mean, of course, is cut.
Let's go into the corner now of Bonecrusher Smith, who is beginning to cut up, and that looks like a nasty little cut on the corner of his eye.
Jab, and you jab, and you jab. Now stop jabbing, go to the body now. Close your eyes, go to the body. Okay. Go to the body. Okay? Yeah. You go to the body. Okay.
Punch back when he punch.
Go to the body. Punch when he punch, okay? Okay. Go to the body.
Don't stand in front of them and let you punch it.
Work that body. Work it good. Okay. Get on top and look at work now. Look at work. Don't play around. Look at work. Okay.
You heard Emil Griffith's instructions. He wants Bonecrusher Smith to go to Larry Holmes' body. Would you explain those instructions, Ray?
I'm sure what Griffith wanted to do, get closer to and back Larry out. He has to Smith has to initiate some type of authority. He has the power to do so.
And Smith just taking all sorts of punishment on the left side of his face. Holmes really working on the left side of Bonecrusher Smith's face. He's being very effective and very sharp.
Larry now basically is picking his shots. He's just waiting for that opportunity where he can put together a nice combination. And what's going to lead up to that, Larry, is that left jab.
And the jab being very effective. Holmes missing very few jabs. And the eye is pretty nasty, although there's not any blood getting into the eye right now to Smith. There's the right hand by Smith. It backed Holmes up, appeared to kind of wake him up rather than hurt him, I think.
You can see the concentration in Holmes' eyes. He's staring at Smith. He knows exactly where he wants to put his punches.
There's a good short right hand set up by the left. And there was another overhead right.
That buckled the knees of Smith.
That was a great shot by Holmes. Best punch of the fight.
You would now see more of aggressive Larry Holmes. That right hand really shook up Smith.
Smith trying to heed his corner's advice and go downstairs, then came out with a right hand that was a little short. Smith has been fighting Holmes' fight almost from the opening bell instead of getting in there really brawling. The eye, incidentally, is not really any worse than it was in the last round.
Again, it was a tip by a counter right hand thrown by Larry Holmes.
And once more, a combination by Holmes. There was a good right hand. That hurt Smith. It's a right cross that time.
So Larry Holmes is doing a number on Bonecrusher Smith here. Larry still hasn't lost a round since he fought Tim Witherspoon a year and a half ago.
On top. Don't turn your hand. If you can't fix it, don't turn it. Okay. Yo, you're serving your right hand to block, right? You got to turn it loose. Okay? You cut it loose, right? Come on. When you cut it loose, fall up in the front. Don't stand up in front of him.
Okay, let's go.
On this way. Don't stand up in front of him.
You got to throw the right hand.
Let's get a glimpse of the right hand. There's that long jab of Smith, and Larry comes right over the top with it.
Let's work it out.
A perfectly executed right hand. You can look at it from above. So far, Barry, I think we can say that the last mismatch we had like this was last Tuesday.
I think you're right.
Left jab is going back to work.
In Smith's corner, they told him, fire that right hand. You're using it to block. Go ahead and throw it. That's something I would think easier said than done.
Well, again, what Smith is doing, he's starting to push his jab. He's not snapping, he's starting to push it. And that's the wrong thing to do against a guy like Larry Holmes with a great counter right hand.
And Holmes just being workmanlike once more. Content to stay at long range with Smith. But he is keeping him in the center of the ring. He's fought his fight. That was a fairly good right hand that did get in by Smith. And there was another right hand.
Again, Barry, that's what Smith wants. He wants to exchange punches with Larry.
And Holmes holds on here. Holmes may be hurt a little bit. I think Holmes is hurt. And Smith knows it. And the crowd knows it. And Smith trying to get inside. Hammers away with the right hand again.
Larry needs to keep that jab working again.
Holmes backing up and ties him up now. And a lot of blood on the face of Smith now, bleeding from the nostril as well, and a little swelling under the right eye now.
Smith is just so physically strong. He doesn't have that much experience, but his strength compensates for his inexperience.
Holmes continues to back up, and he hasn't been doing that too much. Minutes going around.
Larry Holmes has slowed down a great deal.
Holmes has a tendency to do that, though. He'll take a little vacation in the middle of a fight sometimes.
He takes a little breather, and then he comes on strong with about 30 seconds left in the round.
There was a right hand by Holmes. Only question, of course, about Larry Holmes is his age, and as you mentioned earlier, that's what people sit around and say, at some point he's going to go, but when is it? There's another right hand by Smith, and another right hand by Smith. Best round of the fight by far for Bonecrusher Smith.
Well, see, Smith now is starting to rush
And
now.
another good right.
He's just starting to brawl and turn his boxing into an actual fight.
And there is a little bit of swelling under the left eye of Larry Holmes at the bell. And the streak of Larry Holmes stops right there.
I think you may be right, Barry. That may be the first round he's lost in a year and a half.
Look at the gas. Right? We worked out the gas.
You in next time.
Yeah.
You in next time.
Where? Right? Little spot here.
Turn water here.
Right on top. Okay.
Big Jack, what we gonna do? What we gonna do, Big Jack? What we gonna do?
When he walks to the champ, you've got to keep beating him with that jab.
Yeah, be first.
Yeah, you got to be first all the time.
First, Big Jack. Right?
You can't back away.
Let's see if we can get a look at Bonecrusher Smith. There you see him. He's at the bottom end of the screen, and you saw the punch he get in. It was a long arm punch. I don't think it really hurt Larry. It was a heavy kind of a punch that just sort of got there. Larry has instructions now from his corner to go back to his jab and stop looking for one big punch.
Well, now you have to start to think about conditioning a little bit here. Tempo of this fight has picked up quite a lot. Words of encouragement from Larry Holmes' corner.
You know what happened, Barry? When as the fight gets older, he learns how to reserve some energy, and that's why fighters like Larry, they take a breather here and there, which is really smart.
Holmes' corner advising his man to go to the body. Before, as you heard, we told you they had signals and they were yelling Everlast, which means go downstairs. Now they're telling him to headhunt, stay with the jab. Another right hand by Smith. It wasn't a big punch, but it was enough to get Holmes' attention again. Good shot by Holmes, by Smith to the ribs. And Holmes is wild with a right. Larry Holmes breathing through his mouth a little bit here too.
Well, after such a long layoff, you need a few fights to get things back to rolling.
Yeah, remember the last time he fought, which has been almost a year, he won only one round against Marcus Frazier. And 5 rounds 2 months before that.
You know what I'm really afraid of, Barry, is when Larry tries to counter, because what happens, Smith is throwing the right hand too. So it's like two meteors.
That's exactly what Emil Griffith had said in Smith's corner. He said, when he throws a punch, you throw a punch. Smith's corner has done a pretty good job on that eye, actually. It is not much worse than it was about 3 rounds ago.
Smith now is starting to gain some more confidence. He's gaining his momentum. do because he's been able to hit Larry with a couple of shots.
You can see Smith's confidence grow a little bit here. Shot did Holmes. He gave one to the midsection, but he took one in return. Smith's timing his punches a lot better. I think Larry Holmes is a little bit tired, Ray. We want to remind you of some programming coming up on HBO Inside the NFL. Great show it is. Every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Glenn Dawson and Nick Bonacani, as always, on hand for that. And they'll zero in on the highlights, special features, and a lot of guests right through Super Bowl 19. We'll come to you from major NFL city on December 6th, incidentally, and on December 20th. Now let's listen to the corners. This is Smith.
Come on, listen. Come on. You got to keep the pressure and work.
Right hand.
No, start working the body now, please. You gotta work the body now, man. You got to work the body.
Towel on the shoulder.
It's on the shoulder. So you work the body.
I got it, baby.
And do it your way.
Larry Holmes is clearly winning this fight so far, but right now I'd have to say he's picking up where Tim Witherspoon left off, and he's not being very impressive.
And Smith is just having a good time. He was laughing in his corner.
He had a big smile on his face when Griffin told Smith that Holmes was tired.
You know, we should point out that Larry Holmes, by his own admission, hates the 7th round. He was knocked down by Ernie Shavers in the 7th round. He was knocked down by Ronaldo Snipes in the 7th round. He does not like this round, and he says himself that the 7th round scares him.
Putting his punches under now, because when Smith comes in, he comes with his head down, and you'll see, Barry, when Smith goes in, his head is down, so the uppercut, and that's what I mean, bringing the punches under, will be very effective.
Smith definitely wants Holmes in a brawl if he can get him in one. Smith's corner was telling him to go to the body. He hasn't done that. Here in the 7th.
1-2. 1-2, punch it with the left hand.
And Holmes got the better of that exchange in close.
Smith now is breathing from the mouth. Good indication of fatigue.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be tired in his corner. He was talking without really breathing heavy, but all of a sudden, he also seems to be a little bit arm weary.
Well, you'll see that his movement will slow down, and Larry himself has slowed down, but Larry's really basically trying to pick his shots. There was right hand.
And Holmes is cut over the eye. He says it was a butt, and I believe it was. It's a nasty cut over the eye, the left eye of Larry Holmes, and it was definitely a butt. I'm sure we'll get a chance to see it.
Larry's mad now.
He is angry. There's no question about it.
And he must go to work.
Larry Holmes has never been cut like that. So this is going to test the champion now. And he is angry.
That appears to be a nasty cut, Barry.
It definitely does. It's over the eye.
So what Larry Holmes is going to do is he'll try to go to work.
It would be a tainted victory, to be sure, should it end because of that.
It's a bad cut.
There's a lot of blood, and it's in the eye of Larry Holmes.
That's
and he is angry.
that's a butt that could affect the history of the heavyweight division. There's no question about it. I think you're going to see Larry Holmes try for a knockout in the next round or two.
Now hold your head still. I can control it, Larry. All right, Big Jack, it ain't nothing. What we gonna do about it? What we gonna do about it? about it. You got to get the pressure on him, son. He's getting his high band. Don't let him come to you.
Bad cut.
And watch that right hand
It's
come.
a very nasty cut.
Don't put your right hand long.
Percy Richardson, the cut man, is working furiously on that cut, as you can see.
Come to shit out of him.
There, right there, you saw where Smith's head came up and clipped Larry Holmes. And when you fight a big, strong opponent of him in a hurry, something like that can happen.
It was definitely unintentional, but you hate to see it. Both men are going to go for the kill now. There's no question about it. Blood pouring from the eye of Holmes. Holmes knows he has to go get Smith. A lot of adrenaline pumping in both these men.
Again, the heads collided. One thing about it, Barry, see the fact that Larry's so angry, he could lose composure and get caught.
Holmes took a good left hand. Holmes knows he's got to go get him, and I doubt that Larry Holmes has been in that position before.
If Smith had the experience, he would work on that with the left jab.
You saw between rounds how nasty that cut is. However, the blood does not appear to be flowing in it. There was a good right hand by Holmes. It hurt Smith.
One thing about Smith, he has a an iron jaw. He really does.
He's taking Holmes' best. The blood, up until a moment ago, did not appear to be flowing into the eye. It appeared to be flowing alongside the eye. But any one punch could get it in there. It could even come off the gloves of Smith. You saw Holmes shake his head, and that would indicate that there is blood in the eye.
Smith now is going to the body. It was a wicked body shot he just threw. That eye of Larry is really bad.
Very nasty.
I think now because Smith has a left hook.
Holmes now has to brawl with Smith. So now it is Holmes who is fighting Smith's fight. There was a right hand. That hurt Holmes. Holmes never saw that punch coming. And another right hand. Still a minute to go in the round.
There's a lot of time for something to happen here. Smith needs to take advantage of this opportunity. He wobbled out with that shot.
Well, there's no question about it. Holmes never saw the punch. Holmes is still on unsteady legs. Smith lunges with a left hand. Holmes is fighting on guts.
The left eye is really bothering Larry. It's starting to get in his eye. The blood is starting to drain into his eyes now.
Davey Pearl takes a long look at the eye. Still a lot of time in this round. And another right hand. And a good right hand by Holmes. Not much on that right hand, though.
This guy can take a punch. Larry hit with some very good right hands.
Well, we have a bloody war of survival out here now. And the heavyweight title is hanging in the balance in what has turned out to be an unexpected drama.
You fresh now. We going out there and whoop his ass. Let's go, Big Jack.
We have a clear picture of the title for Larry Holmes'
Okay.
left eye. Larry Holmes was slipping that punch. He didn't get the full brunt of it, but it scored nonetheless. Ray, there's a man in the audience here now named Sugar Ray Robinson, who fought a famous fight, a return fight with Randy Turpin. Turpin opened up his eye in the middle of the fight, much like this. Robinson, knowing he didn't have much time, went out and stopped Turpin.
That's why I'm expecting the same thing from Larry Holmes, because that eye is really affecting his performance now. It's really bothering him.
It's interesting enough, I think, that if Larry Holmes does come back and win this fight, he might get more respect out of this fight than any fight preceding this, and he's probably been closer to losing this fight than any fight fight preceding this. This is the 9th round. It's a long road.
Every time that glove, whether it's a jab or whether the glove just touches the eye, it starts to bleed.
Holmes' corner told him, box, box, box. Keep your man off you. That's what Larry Holmes is doing here so far in the 9th round.
You know, I really expected Bonecrusher Smith to hit Larry and then nothing happened. But on the other hand, Larry's hit Smith and nothing really happened. It's just the opposite way around.
Holmes working the jab pretty effectively now. Smith has not been on him, and the blood is not as bad in this round. It's very hard for Holmes, I'm sure, Ray, to see those wide arcing right hands.
When they come with such a force. I think wherever the punch lands, it still hurts.
Holmes jabbing very well. When he does get his man inside, he holds him, fighting a very intelligent round here. Oddly enough, the bleeding over the left eye of Larry Holmes is almost diminished here in this round. Hard to believe from a cut that nasty.
There's a very good cut man in his corner. Larry's doing the right thing of tying Smith up, but then again, he still shouldn't be that close to him, especially with the cut that he has.
There's a good right hand by Holmes, but it was caught on the top of the head pretty much by Smith.
Larry Holmes' professionalism carried that round, and now the burden of proof is on Bonecrusher Smith, whether he can take advantage of this turn of events. And there is Smith.
Still laughing.
Come on. You see where you go.
And there is the former Walker Smith, Sugar Ray Robinson.
He looks great.
Well into his 60s and looks very well.
You want to disappoint your wife and kid and me? Trust yourself. But come on, baby, let's do it. Well, let's do it, Big Jack. Let's go to work. Get me scored to the corner punch.
You know what you're doing? You've been doing it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, now let's work.
Under control now. You got to do it.
Work.
And so we come to the 10th round. And blood immediately starts from the cut over the left eye of Larry Holmes. In Smith's corner, they were giving him the old, you don't want to disappoint your wife and kids routine. Smith took a good shot from Holmes.
You know, Larry Holmes is a very good cut man, Percy Richardson, and he still has not been able to stop the bleeding because the flow of blood is still coming down.
And a right hand by Smith makes it come a little bit more.
This has been somewhat of a fast-paced fight, Barry. There's fatigue signs in both men. Not much movement, and it's basically each fighter is trying to land a bomb, which has been really the right hand.
Smith continuing to smile at his man. And they're both talking to each other now.
sportsmanship from Larry Holmes. They were complaining about the headbutts.
Both these men are going to know they've been in a fight, I'll tell you that. There's going to be some aches and pains tomorrow.
Oh, for sure. That's a given. Because they both been going to the body and up to the head.
And they both, at this point, seem to be biding their time waiting for a big right hand.
And that's the problem, bro. They both are just looking for one big shot. Whereas that normally if Larry would use that left jab more, the punches would fall into place. For Smith, he's doing the right thing and turning this boxing match into a fight.
Smith has been very cautious over the last couple of rounds. He doesn't want to make a careless mistake. By the same token, he's had his best success when he's been more aggressive. And now the blood really showing on the face of Larry Holmes.
You know what happens when Larry throws that right hand, and whether it lands or not, Smith ducks his head. And he had the collide of heads.
The fact is that the blood is not really flowing into the eye of Larry Holmes, but on one or two occasions. So it's not really affecting his vision. But there's no question about how serious the cut is. There's a lot of blood.
I have Larry Holmes well ahead in this fight.
Are you listening to me? You got this man there in front of you going.
All right, Big Jack.
Take a look here and see that James Bonecrusher Smith is going into a country he's never been in before. He's never completed 10 full rounds in his career.
Remember, keep your right hand short because he's going to counter that back with his right hand.
Let's listen in Bonecrusher's corner.
Huh? Go back here. Work for it.
And there's Larry Holmes.
All right? Let's work for it. Let's go. Two step away from those ropes. He'll go that left over right cross.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Do your job. Do your job. You did your homework. Now do your job. All right. Do your homework. Give me a towel.
Larry Holmes finding this is a hard way to earn an easy million.
I would think so. And the pace picks up appreciably at the start of the 11th round. Since Emil Griffith has been with Bonecrusher Smith, he's 10 for 10 with 10 knockouts. So you can't hardly do any better than that. But he's never seen anybody like he's seeing tonight.
One thing about it, Smith really prepared himself for this fight. He's in great condition. Even mentally, he prepared himself to fight Larry Holmes. Because normally, any guy that fights for the title, that's the biggest obstacle, the psychological obstacle. And he's definitely overcome that.
Holmes digging to the body, and Smith reciprocates.
Watch your head's going in now.
Holmes' corner wants him to go downstairs and then come up.
When Smith throws his left hook, it doesn't
There was a good right hand by Holmes.
It doesn't look effective, but it's very deceptive. A lot of power behind it.
And a good left hook by Holmes. Two good punches by Holmes, and now the blood continues to pour from Bonecrusher Smith.
Now you'll see an artist at work.
And a good right hand by Holmes, and that slowed Smith up. Smith's
just
quite a lot of blood above the eye of Smith. Smith is actually bleeding a lot worse right now than Larry Holmes.
Now you'll notice, watch Larry work on that eye, Barry. You'll see a lot. He should work his jab a lot more.
Still a ways to go here, just under a minute.
This is when the right hand will come over across that left hand.
They continue to jaw at each other here.
I don't think Smith will be able to see that right hand now.
Smith is pawing a lot more than he was. Pawing more than punching. pouring from the eye of Bonecrusher Smith, and we're going to have the doctor look at it. Smith's eye is extremely nasty.
Oh, that's really nasty. Gee.
And I'm not sure that this one is going to go on much.
No way.
The doctor says it's all right. Interestingly enough, Smith's eye is worse than Holmes, if you can believe that.
That's what's known as an eye for an eye, and they're going to have to do some great work in the corner there to get him ready for the next round. That's Bernard Forbes, who was Emil Griffith's corner man, cousin, excuse me, working on the eye.
Hey, Alan, put the doors for the wall. Put that frame. Put the bucket here.
Everlast first. Everlast first.
Come on.
Right, Everlast
Cross.
and left hook. Finish with the jab.
Very, very nasty eye.
The whole bottle will knock the sucker out. Right,
You gotta go for broke, man. Get on top of it.
That's your shit.
And right there, you see Smith blink as the left jab got across to the left eye.
And this is the 12th round, and now it's Smith who has to think about the cut. And Holmes, being the professional, goes right after it.
Well, now you're going to see a master at work, Larry Holmes. He's going to be using that left jab. He's going to work on that eye.
I don't think they will let this go too far. Smashing right hand, and the blood pours from the eye. And I'm sure Davey Pearl, when he separates, will look at this. He does, and it goes on. In Holmes' corner, they tell him to go after it. That's what the sport's all about. It's ugly, but that's what it's about.
Watch your heads, both of you. Get out.
Larry needs to watch that left hook of Bonecrusher.
Davey Pearl telling him to watch the head also.
Step out. Come on, turn him loose.
And there's a great right hand by Holmes. And it puts Smith back on his heels. Holmes unquestionably the stronger of the two at this juncture.
Hold it up. Hold it up, Larry. I'm going to check him out. Fine. Come here.
And we're going to take another look at the eye of Smith. And Smith is on rubber legs here. I will guess that they will stop it here.
Both of these fighters will be going to St. Elsewhere after this fight,
It's over.
and it's over.
It is over. And there are two game warriors.
No more. Just watch it. Watch over there.
I don't think anybody will question that.
It was a nasty cut. They did the right thing, though.
You know, we talk about the fact that Larry Holmes is a guy who's always been seeking recognition, seeking people telling him, yes, you're worthy of being the great champion, being considered the great champion. I really think he might have done more for himself tonight under very adverse conditions than he has in years.
I would agree, Barry, because of circumstances. I mean, Larry sustained a bad cut, a nasty cut, and also Bonecrusher Smith. And Larry showed the true heart of a champion and displayed his talent so well.
He did what he had to do. It was really not a picture fight, I'll tell you that. It was an ugly fight.
I was really impressed with Smith, mainly because of his conditioning and the fact that he was in there to fight. He was in there to try to win a world title.
Larry Holmes really had to work for this one. There was no question about it.
Well, the inactivity once again played a major role because Larry was not as sharp as he normally is, and
But yet he found a way. That's what I was going to say. He found a way to really dig down, and he had to go 12 rounds, and he won it at the end of the fight.
but what it was, Barry, was his experience that came into play. In fact, he outboxed Smith, as And Smith was so strong and so devastating when he was going to the body.
You know, it's a fight like this, though, and again, I hearken back to the Thriller in Manila. People said after that fight, and that was a war very much like this one, might have been a little bit more of a war, but nevertheless, it was the same kind of fight. It was a brawl. And they said Muhammad Ali was never the same after that. And now you have to go back and ask the same question about Larry Holmes. He is 2 years older than Muhammad Ali was when he fought that kind of fight. He was really in one tonight.
I think what tonight showed was the fact that the inactivity played a part. It played a major role. And Larry, once again, Larry was not as sharp as he normally is. And he had used his experience to win the fight.
All right, let's get the official decision right now from the ring announcer, Chuck Hall. Chuck, you got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the advice of the ringside physician, Dr. Donald Romeo, referee Davey Pearl stops the bout at 2 minutes 10 seconds of the 12th round. The winner by a TKO and still undefeated world champion, Larry Holmes.